Hello YouTube, welcome to Conversations with Joe. I'm Joe. Hello YouTube, welcome to Conversations with Joe. I'm Joe. So, hello YouTube, my name is Joe. First of all, welcome to my YouTube channel. And what am I going to talk about on my YouTube channel? Pretty much whatever you want to talk about, right? But first of all, let me just say this. We're only dealing with the positive. Why would you even worry about someone who's saying something that's not positive? Why would that even concern you? Right. Hold on there. Hi YouTube, how are you? Welcome to Conversations with Joe. My name is Joe. First of all, welcome. This is my first video on my new channel. This is actually a test run, so you'll never see it. Anyway, you might be asking yourself, what the hell is Conversations with Joe? Well, welcome. What is Conversations with Joe, right? What is Conversations with Joe? Well, actually, Conversations with Joe is just that. It's a channel that I'm starting so we can have conversations. We can exchange and dialogue, me with the audience, whomever's out there. And first of all, let me just say this before we go any further. This channel is not about me having all the answers. I don't have all the answers. I don't have some of the answers. In fact, it's not even really about answers. Like I said, it's about having a conversation, right? And I'm just sharing things that have worked for me. I'm not here, nothing's here for sale. It's just conversations. And like I said, I'm pretty much doing the YouTube thing simply because for years everyone keeps telling me to do it. So I'm like, okay. And I'm looking at YouTube and I see a lot that's going on YouTube and I'm like, you know what? Some of that stuff's pretty good. I mean, I put down hardwood floors in my house and did it off the strength of YouTube. From YouTube knowing what tools to buy, yada, 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 right? Step by step, looking at it from 50 different angles with 25 different people and professionals and novice and, you know, weekend warriors, you know how it go. So, you can't beat it, right? So I'm just, I want to engage, and I like people. I love people. I love having conversations. I love having an exchange. And what I'm looking forward to getting out of it, to be quite frank with you, is the exchange. I want to hear what you got to say. So like I said, I ain't here to put down all the feng shui and you're like, okay, it's all perfect now, Joe. You did it for me, bro. Thank you, Joe. No, it's not even about that. It's probably going to be a whole lot of, hey, Billy from Wisconsin, thank you. Hey, Susie Ann from Georgia, good job. Hey, Brenda from Baltimore, thanks. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens. It's a regular Joe, like I said. I'm in my man cave doing this YouTube channel. Hoping to have conversations with open-minded people to engage. It's not about having all the answers. Like I said, and I'll continue to say, I don't have all the feng shui down. I can't tell you how to put your furniture so all your energy flows perfectly. If I knew that, I would, I probably wouldn't be doing this YouTube channel, right? I'm here to engage and have conversations so we can understand our understandings. So that's what it is. You know, like I said, it's my first channel. Don't even have a subscriber. Won't even mention to my friends and family that I've even finally started the YouTube channel until, I don't know, probably a month or two. We'll see what it does. I'm curious to see what happens organically, how people kind of attract and stumble upon the channel, and go from there. Like I said, I plan to put up content, have conversations, and just engage, and hopefully natural, pure, organic engagement is enough. I think it is. It's enough for me, and I know I'm not that different than most of you. So yeah, so once, twice a week, we'll see. But we're excited about engaging. I'm excited about engaging, and I look forward to engaging. Yeah. When you're in my demo, you may need reading glasses here and there, right? But the next one is, why is CMJ? Why is Conversation with Joe? Why would Joe decide he needs to start a YouTube channel and call it Conversation with Joe? Well, to be quite frank with you, for the last 2 to 3 years, at work, with friends, with family, people would always tell me, Joe, start a YouTube channel. Like, they would say, you give the best advice, or you always listen so well. And that's an art, by the way, especially if someone's talk as much as I do. And just, I think at its core, people just want a place to communicate their thoughts and not to be judged. And that's what I want this YouTube channel to be. So that's why it is. It is because I think we're in need of someone that's lived a little life to communicate openly and honestly from a very normal positioning. You know, I'm not a celebrity. I'm not I work every day. I'm in management. I'm middle class. I'm truly that everyday Joe in a lot of ways. Obviously, I'm a Black American. So my perspective is going to be that of a Black American. You know, we're not running from that. Those are facts, and those are to be demonstrated in a lot of my viewpoints, quite frankly. And that's why I want this forum to be a forum of open dialogue, because I want people to understand that depending on where you come from, in a lot of ways, it's going to dictate your view. Like, if I'm looking from the east to the west, then my view is going to be from the east to the west. If Johnny's looking from the west to the east, then his view is going to be from the west to the east. And no matter how much I hope that Johnny understands my viewpoint, the fact is, he's only going to be able to understand the viewpoint of that of which he's viewing. So if that's the case, then if we're both coming from a place of honesty, of pure neutral conversation and two-way dialogue, then we're going to find a positive result. Facts. That's what it is. And we understand that to be the case. That's why I believe in a lot of cases, people just don't want facts. They just don't want truth. They just don't want resolution. They rather engage in the engagement. You understand? It's like, I'm really not fighting for resolution. I just like to fight. You understand? And I think there's people who think like that. The fight is not about resolution, positive or negative. It's about the fight. They want the fight. And that's unfortunate. The beautiful thing is that, I've been 25. So I can have a conversation with someone about being 25. And like I often say, and like most people say, there's nothing new under the sun. There's nothing new. It's just a different character playing the role. But the movie's been played before. It's the same ending if you go this route. And it's the same ending if you go this route. You could just you know how that's going to end, right? Good, bad, indifferent. And obviously there's always variables. But we understand that if you do the right thing, and you put your head down and you surround yourself around the most positive people you can, there's a really good chance you're going to be successful. So, and success is relative. And we're going to have all those conversations, right? Success is relative. Success ain't a monetary status. Success is in we're going to have those conversations. So I just want this video right now to be the introduction. Like I said, thank you so much for tuning in. Those of you who did, Jaga, we pray and we hope that you find good energy and positive vibes through all the days of your life, and that things are righteous and aligned in your spirit with where you need them to be. Because we know one thing is that you put out good energy, you're going to get good energy. We're going to have those conversations. We're going to talk about affirmation before manifestation. We're going to do different reviews on different pieces of product that we own, and we're going to have those conversations. We're going to build a good, positive relationship. So, like I said, when you get to this age, there's certain things you just understand, you let go and let God. You understand? And I mean that it's like, you understand that true faith, once you don't put in the work, you got to fall back. You know what I'm saying? It's like baking a cake. You know what I'm saying? Once you don't put all the ingredients in there and you did the due diligence and you followed that discipline and you did what you're supposed to do, once you ride that rhythm, at the end of the day, boom, throw it in there, 350, 45 minutes, boom. After that, boom, whatever the post-process is, and, you know, if everything is right, then you should be right? More times than wrong. So you learn that. You learn just to stay true to your disciplines, stay in your lane. You know, you understand that the more things change, the more they stay the same. You know, everybody's the new tough guy, everybody's the new genius, everybody's the new this, and sometimes they are, and most times they're not. You know, I think I want to speak to, you know, people understanding on every age. My group, you know, there's cats my age who got private jets and doing this. There's cats half my age got all that, right? There's cats my age who have half of what I have. There's cats I have my age, you know. So you really should never, in my opinion, and that's one thing I want to speak to. So you know, I don't think you should ever gauge success dictated by what anyone else thinks it is. I think you've really, you know, like this, you know, to thine self be true. You got to really find out what is success for me, and there's different things for different people, and that's what it is. I think when you're just chasing success for the sake of success, it's like a drug. You know, you're going to be chasing that high forever. You're never going to find it. When you're chasing big numbers are till infinity. You know, you know. I was looking at this thing the other day. They were talking about one of the richest men in the world, worth $200 billion. First man to ever be worth $200 billion. I'm like, that's like, at that point, it's like, like, you know, like, are you happy? Are you happier at 200 billion than you were at 200,000? You know, and that's not a jab or some type of hate move. They're just facts. You know. I remember there were times when I would go through different struggles, lose a job, whatever the frig, go through a relationship breakup where you're invested financially into that relationship and it don't work out, so you got to kind of come again. Yeah, let me tell you something. So I look back at it. Some of those times were some of the best freaking times. It was powerful times because it gave you an understanding of an appreciation of the most basic of things. Like, I mean, when you got to start over in terms, like, as guys, you guys know what I'm talking about, and maybe a few ladies too, but it's usually the guy, especially when there's kids involved, or, you know, or if you're any kind of man, you know, you're gonna leave and like this, you know, you're gonna let the woman have the utensils and all that kind of crap. But yeah, you got it, man. Look here, you're like, shit, you know, it gets a little tight. So you appreciate all the basic things, and I think that's what this pandemic's I want to talk about as well. Yeah, I'm rambling, but it's only for me, and I'm gonna look back at the footage. No one's gonna see this, but ride the rhythm. But yeah, as far as the pandemic, I think it's horrible. I mean, it's like we're in a movie. You know, it's like we're in a movie, and I think everyone just needs to stay true to the disciplines that they've outlined in terms of, you know, washing hands and keeping distance and covering your face and, you know, not touching your eyes and any orifice. You understand? Yeah, just kind of try to and pray to God. And pray to God. Yeah, that's what you got to do with that one, because, you know, my heart goes out to everyone who's lost family members and who's currently struggling with loss or, you know, of any sort, and especially during the pandemic or directly affected by the pandemic. I just, Jaga, you know, God bless you. Give you strength, you know, it's tough. I understand how loss can be. I also want to have a conversation with the young boys, meaning middle school cats, high school cats, you know, speak about peer pressure, speak about just different things from a perspective of someone who's of age, that's raised kids, have kids in college. Also, I want to speak to those new dads. Like I said, you know, that 50-ish age group, 45 to 55, who are new dads or dads again for the first time in umpteen years, right? So that's a whole nother experience. You know, it's almost like when you say, boy, if I got a chance to do it again, if I know what I know now, then, Yeah, it gives you can operate on that now, right? So that's cool. That's beautiful. You appreciate everything more from that perspective. So that's cool. And also, if you're anything like me, I think a lot of you guys out there, if you're fortunate enough to be in a position where you can have a few toys, there's car channels, there's people who are speaking to tech this and tech that, and they got that, right? What I want to do is, like I said, have conversations, but also just kind of speak to what I'm doing currently. I'm woodworking sometimes I'm brewing home beer, other times I may be organizing my shoe collections, small but mighty shoe collection, right? I'm learning editing, contemplating whether or not I'm going to do this. So we just want to have conversations, and I also wanted to be a place where it's just a neutral place. It's a place where, there's someone to speak to this extreme, there's someone to speak to that extreme, there's someone to give their opinion and just boom, one-way dialogue, and they're really only concerned with hearing, dialogue if it's in agreement to, or a pledge allegiance of, so. Yeah, that's cool. I want people to just give their perspective. Just as long as you're coming from a place of just, exchanging of conversation, right? From a human standpoint, not hate, not, with the intent to shame or disrupt or just be like, gotcha. Yeah, there's enough of that out there. I want this channel to be a channel where we're going to speak to just our position and go back and forth with dialogue and hopefully gain a different perspective or have an affirm of our own perspective. Maybe we're right, or maybe we're right for us and you're right for you, and maybe I may not agree, but I'm like, I can see how you came to that conclusion, right? So yeah, that's what it's about. It's exchange. Yeah, we just got to stay true. We got to come together. I know people are probably going to ask about the racial tensions and my views on that. Like I said, for any extreme position, there's channels and there's avenues and places for you to get that information. But as far as I'm concerned, for me, I think what it really comes down to a situation where, as a black man in America, I've witnessed racism before, absolutely, no doubt about it. Haven't been involved in as much as probably a lot of people, but I've had some experiences. Luckily for me, I had a father also that kind of had certain conversations with me, and so I kind of wasn't shocked by it, wasn't fearful of it. It didn't make me scared or anything. More than anything else, it kind of made me feel sorry for the people, because I recognize in their eyes, at its core, racism is fear. That's what it is, yo. I mean, institutionalized racism is fear. It comes from a fear when you've done an injustice to a people on a level that is incomprehensible. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Your fear is like, man, if they ever, it's gonna get crazy. And the good thing is that, for what I know as a black man, black people as a whole, we're people of love and compassion, yeah, and I think human beings as a people are of love and compassion. I think people would rather extend a helping hand than to punch you. I think the punch typically comes from a place of fear, whether it be taught, contrived, manufactured, however it got inside that little brain of the individual that has it. You know, it's an imperfection. You know, we all have character flaws, and some are just much larger than others, and that's just a huge character flaw. But I think I can tell you one thing: as a black man, you know, there's no better time in existence to be a person in America of color. A black man in particular is the best time ever. I mean, I would never allow hate, racism, institutionalized, some little lone idiot whose puberty didn't work out like he thought it should. So he takes those insecurities and decides that as he throws his life away, he's going to ruin the lives of innocent people out of pure hate. You know, it's sad. It's unfortunate. But that's the rare exception. It's certainly not the rule. And those evildoers would want you to think that is. Let me tell you something. Most people, white people, black, let me tell you something. Like I said, I told you my age group. And in my life, 90+% time that I've ever come in contact with any white person on any different level, whether it be a clerk at a store or working with them or whatever, cooling the beans. I mean, just human. And I think most of us have those experiences. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend that being black in America is somehow comparable today as it was in the 50s and 60s and in times past. Nah, that's an injustice to the good work that a lot of people have done on either side, you know, and white and black. That's another thing, you know what I'm saying? I think you could be a proud black man and still recognize, personally, if you understand how this thing works in terms of human beings, then you understand from all comes. We all come from Mother Africa. So, you know, everybody else understands how that rhythm rides, right? So that's my brother. Whether it be my second, third cousin, however you want to cut it, we in this together. My blood can pump in his veins. And he rocking. He good. He's stronger than ever. I got that super blood. Yeah. But yeah, so if you look at it like that, then I'm not gonna come at you with hate. That's goofiness if you really peep game. Now at the same time, if it comes my direction, I'm gonna speak to it head on. I'm not running from it. I'm speaking to it, you know, and it's gonna be resolved one way or another. So I think that's what it is, right? So what we got to do is we're going to speak to all of that, but we're going to have these good, respectful, neutral conversations. What else we going to do? We're gonna do some reviews. You know, I got a lot of little toys, like I said, that 45 to 55 demographic. You know what I'm talking about? You know, and as far as political views, let me tell you something. I really vote depending on whatever. It don't even matter what you're registered as, what you're not registered as. In a lot of cases, at the end of the day, I'm like, you know, more times than not, most of these people are in it for show. You know, it's their career, that's what they're doing. You know, once you get on this big level, it is what it is, right? So, but at the same time, you know, me personally, I would consider myself to be fiscally conservative. You know, if I earn $1, I would like to keep as much of it as if I can. But socially liberal. I think we should help people. I think we should help one another. I absolutely think we should help people. I think we're a strong country. I think we're a country like no other. I think if we go by, and I get it. I understand it. You know, don't chop me up. I get it. When these constitutions and all these different bylaws and all these, I know who it was for, understood. But let me explain something to you. I think there's a debt that's owed to black men and women in America who are direct descendants of the enslaved African people that built this country, for us to participate in and receive our just due of the riches of this land. It's only right. Dues have been paid, continue to be paid. And justice is still reign supreme in certain corners. And it's getting stamped out. Jaga, it's getting stamped out. I'm telling you, evil will never reign. Can't. It can't. It just can't exist. You understand? Evil feeds off fear of good people. It feeds off fear of bad people. It feeds off fear. You understand? So once you move to the light, you understand that you stand in the glory, you're untouchable. You know what I'm saying? Like faith, that faith thing. You know what I'm saying? I look at it like this. And we're going to speak about things like this. You know, that whole faith thing. You know, like they say, faith without work is dead. But you can't say you believe, but not really, you know what I'm saying, let it go. You know what I'm saying? If you put in the work, like we talked about earlier with the cake, once you got to let it go. Bam. Now, I can tell you this also. You know, you got to set your mind up for that victory too. And we're going to talk about that. Hold on there. Hello. There are some things I would like to share that have worked for me and I think could work for you. I mean, for example, you know, for me, right? And I wish, I'd be honest with you, I wish I would have started adopting a lot of these behaviors 20 years sooner than I did. Probably wish I would start doing it in my teen years. But things like understanding, you know, affirmation before manifestation. The eyes don't see. The eyes don't see what the mind don't believe. Affirmation before manifestation. What do I mean by that? I'm gonna give an example. Say you saw a bottle of water on a kitchen table, right? A bottle of water is on a kitchen table. Regular bottle of water, just sitting on the kitchen table, just sitting there, right? And all this, you know, and it's not on the edge, nowhere near the edge, just securely on the kitchen table. And all of a sudden, as you're looking at it, you just see it move off the kitchen table. It just falls down. What are you gonna think? What are you gonna think? I'll tell you what you're gonna think. First of all, you're gonna think to yourself, oh wow, probably that bottle of water was closer to the edge of that table than I thought it was, and it must have just fell off. The bottom of the water must have been, you know, uneven. A breeze came along. You're gonna justify it. Even though you saw with your own two eyes, that bottle of water fall off that table, being that we're not programmed to believe that's possible, right? Right or wrong, we're not programmed to believe that's possible. So what's gonna happen is you're gonna justify it by saying those things I mentioned before, right? What I mean by that, and that's what I mean when I say affirmation before manifestation. You have to affirm it before it's going to manifest itself. Because even if it happens, if you don't program your brain to believe it's possible, you won't know it's happening as it happens before your eyes. Back to that water. You saw the water fall off. You know the water's nowhere near the edge. You've already secured that thought in your brain. But because you saw that water fall off by itself, and you can't reason with that, even though you saw with your own two eyes, you don't believe it. You don't believe it happened. And you're going to justify it. It was hanging on the edge of the table. There was a bottom. That's what you're going to do. You're going to justify it. Why are you going to justify it? Because your brain isn't programmed to believe that it's possible. The eyes will not see what the mind does not believe. So you could do everything right. But if you have that negative energy about you, oh, it's not for me, this crap isn't going to happen, then what's going to happen? You're absolutely right. It's not going to happen. And even as it's happening, you won't believe it's happening for you because you don't think it's possible. There's no way it's happening for you, right? So even as it happens before your eyes, it's not possible. So you're not even going to understand the blessing is yours. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. YouTubers, you got to get it. Get up, get out, and get it. Whatever it is. Search that peace. This is it. Let's do this. I think this is the year for us and anyone else. Just get that dream boat rolling, right? Maybe this ain't the year that it actually happens, but this is the year that you put as much energy as humanly possible into ensuring that it happens. prepping it to happen. And it's going to happen. I'm here to tell you. And if you don't give up, then it's guaranteed to happen. You understand what I'm saying? The eyes don't see what the mind does not believe. And so, I wake up every morning, I have an affirmation. My affirmation is, today's going to be a great day. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. I will accomplish all my goals today. Yeah. And I go get it. You understand? And that's not guaranteeing like I'm going to have this perfect day. It's not to say like everything is going to be all that day. Nah. But what it's saying is, no matter what happens, I'm going to come out on top. I'm going to roll with it. I'm going to find the positive in it. Because at the end of the day, more times than not, we're having a pretty goddamn on good day. And if we're falling short of the glory, it's typically because we're not doing it. We did something. And if we're honest with ourselves, we're like, I could have went a little harder. I think if I went a little harder, I would have gotten it, right? You have to affirm. You have to affirm something before you can manifest it. Because a lot of times, if you don't have that affirmation, when it manifests itself, you won't even know. You won't even know the victory for you. Because you programmed your mind, that's not happening for me. When you wake up in the morning, you don't give yourself an affirmation. You don't wake up and say, thank God I woke up today. You know what you do? And when I say you, I mean whomever it is who struggles with trying to focus their mind in the most efficient way. A lot of times what people might say, oh Lord, I gotta wake up today. Oh my goodness, goodness gracious, I don't feel like doing one blase. That's what they're saying, right? When in actuality, you woke up. You've already won. And this ain't no rah, super positive, motivational, Joe Blow type conversation. This is just facts. We're talking facts. You woke up. So you're good. Now, whatever you falling short on, you got to figure out a plan to get it. And you hit it one time at a one time. And you surround yourself around people that will help you get to that angle. Like I say, success is relative. Some of the most successful people I've ever met probably make $60,000 as a couple in certain parts of the world. And guess what? Super happy. Both of them got a car, got a home, good credit, stay within their means, manage. Because let's face it, a lot of us, we're pretty dang on excessive. Right? So anyway, before I lose track, back to the earlier point. Affirmation before manifestation. The eyes don't see what the mind don't believe. So like I said, you see this water bottle fall out of nowhere by itself. You saw it on the eyes. Nothing assisted it, but understanding within your mind that that's not possible. Even though you saw it with your own eyes, you won't believe it to be true. Right? So meaning, good or bad, we must program our minds, in my opinion, for the positive. Program ourselves and give ourselves affirmations. Claim things. Put in that word. Like they say, faith without work is dead. Claim it within your mind. Put in the word. And it's not even like it's hard work. Because let me tell you something. Just going through life every day, working a 9 to 5, if you're blessed to do that, and to put yourself in a position to have greater things, is a challenge day to day. I mean, getting up, it's like you feel like you're in 3rd grade again, and it's cold, and your mom's like, you gotta get up, time to go to school. Oh God, I don't want to go to school. It's the worst thing in life. Why do I have to go to school? I just want to lay here, But then when you get up, you're like, oh shit, I'm glad I got up. It's almost like when you call out for work. You ever call out for work? And you call out for work. And people have told me this, They call out for work. And they can go, but they're just not feeling like going to work that day. They're like, okay, I'm not going to work. I haven't called out for a while. I'm not going to work today. Bye. But then you have such an unproductive day, you say to yourself, shit, I might as well went to work. I wasted a freaking sick day or a PTO or a vacation day or whatever the heck you call it. Right? So at the end of the day, I think we just got to program ourselves. I believe success, and once again, success is relative, but I think generally speaking, success is lonely. Meaning, it's not going to be a whole lot of people up there with you. I don't care if that success is 60,000 a year, 600,000 a year, or whatever it is for you. Let me explain something to you. At the end of the day, there's only going to be a few people going to be there with you if you're disciplined. Because in order to get there, you got to cut certain things off. I don't give a dang on if you're trying to buy a $150,000 home. You understand? And you make an X amount of dollars a month. You know what I'm saying? But you could do it. But you gotta, you can't do X, Y, Z. Don't try to keep up with Johnny John. Yeah, he got the freshest kicks, but guess what? That's all he got. Get your house, yo. You understand? And build. Focus. Stay around people who got you going. And this is on every level. This is the 20s, the 30s, the 50s. Man, we all trying to get it still. I'm appreciative and happy where I am. And it took a lot of work to get here. And I still got a long way to go in terms of just learning new things. At this point, it's not even about money. And trust me, by no means am I some mogul and I'm good like that. Nah, I ain't like that. I work every day. Gotta do it, right? A working man movement over here. But what I mean by that is I'm good. I, by the grace of God, can pay my bills. So I don't sit and focus on money. I focus on learning things, whether it be playing the guitar, learning that, or whether it be learning to play an African drum and play it the right way and play an authentic one. Engaging with my new son, who I have a newborn, less than a year, more than 6 months. You understand? So so that's what that is. And so I want to engage with those, like I said earlier, engage with those fathers. I know a lot of fathers out there in their 40s who are stepfathers and they're trying to have kids of their own, and or some in their 50s, some fathers, some women in their 40s even. And that's another thing. This channel ain't for just the dudes. And we be doing all kinds of stuff. First of all, I cook, I do woodworking, drones, I'm learning how to play the guitar. We already talked about the drum. You know what I'm saying? I'm an aspiring photographer, brand new YouTuber. That's nothing, by the way. Nothing. But yeah, so we're going to have those conversations. I'm excited. We can talk about relations. We can talk about relations and the perspective of, like I said, my age group, my demographic, but still young enough to remember, being in your 20s and late teens, that first love, that butterfly where you just want to go to sleep on the phone type shit, or OG case like me, being on the payphone and shit outside like forever and shit, like crazy stuff like that. Yeah, have those conversations and the difference it is now, and just grown love versus just puppy love. What you gonna call it, puppy love? Even though I think that's a disservice to it, because I think a lot of people in their 20s have some huge responsibilities, mortgages, and a lot of us really, marriages and shit. It was real, so it wasn't no puppy about it, big dog shit, right? Yeah. But, so yeah, have those conversations, the differences. I think, like I said earlier, when it comes to having kids, 45 to 55, I think it comes down to just like, okay, I just know a little bit more now. I know to be a lot more patient. I realize that it's more about patience, less about what you buy or don't buy. It's really not anything more complicated than that. Spending time, giving mom a break when needed, without having her to ask for it, right? And just keeping those lines of communication open. I think for me, it's probably different for everybody, right? Because you know your mate better than anyone else, and you know how to comfort them. I think, like I said, when it comes down to it, I've also learned, like with relations, I think it comes down, and I've been with my girl now, my lady, over 10 years. And we recently had a kid, her first kid, my 5th. But yeah, her first child. I've had kids. I have adult kids actually. You know, so seeing her experience that for the first time, and and um, and be so pleasant and present in that, pleasant and present in that, right? And just to see the enjoyment of it, you know, it's like I remember years ago, like I said, and we also, not only is it a situation where, you know, you're in that 45 to 55 and you're having a baby, a newborn baby, you know, a young baby, newborn baby. You also, in my case, you're married to someone who's 20 years your junior, you know. So, and like I said, we were together 10 plus years, like 10 years before she had our son. So that in and of itself is an experience. I think I'm a little lucky too. I think in order for it to work, in a lot of cases, it's got to be some kind of compatibility far beyond anything physical. In fact, I think especially that type of situation, it's really got to be on a mental, spiritual level. You know, I'm gonna give you another little test. I'm gonna give you a little test, and not test, but just little things that for me over the years is how I would kind of tell whether or not I really care for someone. You know, it's obviously your kids and people you love, your family, all that. But like, just like say if you're with someone and you've been with them for a while, and you're like, do I love them? Like, do I really, you know, at my core, do I get that? You know, is that butterfly feeling real? Just think, God forbid, right? But just think of something bad happening to them. And as you think of something bad happening to them, if you get that kind of, that little uneasiness about you, that little, almost like, someone's in the room, like a little spirit just move over you. Spirit of concern. Yeah. Almost like when you go over the hill real fast in the car when you're a jet, right? Even now, I guess, and your stomach kind of drops. That's the best term. Your stomach kind of drops. Yeah. So you know, that's what we talking about here. Just like real shit. But why did I bring that up? I forgot. Damn. My wife ain't around. No shit, but real shit. This ain't the old shit. This is. We talking so damn much, I forget what I'm talking about. Yeah, so we're gonna have all those type of conversations. But yeah, affirmation before manifestation. Eyes don't see what the mind don't believe. Sometimes if you come out into a day or into an environment or into if you start your day with a thought of negative energy, sometimes your biggest blessing will be right there in your face and you won't even receive it. You won't even go for it. Why? Because you think it's not for you. You're like, nah, that can't be me, right? Because your energy is so off. You just know it ain't you. Ain't no way nobody blessing you, right? That's how you thinking. But nah, it's all you. Of course they're blessing you. If not you, then who? You know? That's real. You know what I'm saying? You know, people like when they say block your blessings, that's real. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how we all spiritual beings and how we all have a direct connection. We just got to find our own connection. Ain't nobody, I can't tell you that. You know what I'm saying? All we're going to do is talk about it. Like I said, these conversations with Joe. And that's what we're going to do. It's going to be little 5 to 10 minute snippets early on. We're going to touch on 2-3 topics, blah, blah. And then we're going to move along. And then as we start to build an audience and people start to make requests, then we're going to start to get into, like I said, the different reviews on different products. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And just engage. And that's what it's about, engagement. All right, we're going to go ahead and lock this in, pull from this, and run from that. Yeah, run from nothing, but never do that. Ja. I'm here to tell you, that's my suggestion. What do you think about the glasses? You like the glasses? What do you think? I don't know. People, first of all, my locks. Yeah, I got locks. People always say, "Well, bro, why don't you twist the front of your hair and make it all nice and neat?" Yeah. I'm like, no, I just don't like it like that. I like it just straight up, directly. All right. But at the end of the day, you just got to stay positive. That's really what it comes down to. if you stay positive and you don't worry about what everybody else is doing, you surround yourself around grouping of people. Affirmation before manifestation. The eyes don't see what the mind don't believe. Life is for the living. Let's do the best we can. Let's love one another. Let's respect one another. Let's stay positive out here. Let's not allow any of that negative energy to come our way. And when that negative energy comes your way, swerve it, curve it. But also be smart and don't put yourself in situations that have a high percentage of negative things to happen. I mean, if you got on an all white outfit, don't go outside when it's raining. Don't go play in the mud. And then be surprised your uniform's dirty. And then when you try to clean it and stain it, it won't come out. You gotta live with that forever. Right? Let's not do it. Let's get it. Jaga. Blah. What's happening, YouTube? What's poppin'? Just trying to see if I'm in frame. Thank you so much for watching the very first video of Conversation with Joe. Once again, my name is Joe. I appreciate each and every one of you. I look forward to building relationships and having conversations with each of you individually to this thing we call the web, aka YouTube. Thank you so much for watching the video. I look forward to building these relationships. Yay! Jaga.